Yeah, we are 65, a whole adult, so 11 adults.
Yay.
This one has passed middle age. This one is well,
Honestly.
yeah. You're tuned into WFM 91.7, the voice of women, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women. And over here at Women Radio, we're wishing Nigeria a happy Independence Day. My name is Fumi Bangbala. Hello, Rose.
Hi, Fumi. Good morning. Happy Independence Day to you. To
Hmm.
all of us.
Hmm.
Yesterday during her lens, I was telling Buki and Susan that imagine a 65-year-old man. If you can
Hmm.
imagine a 65-year-old man as old that he might look or as young as he might look, because some 65-year-old people you can
Yeah.
never tell because they
Yeah.
take care of themselves. So imagine, that picture that you would have. That's how Nigeria is,
Yeah.
and we've come a long way. 65 is no joke at all. So yeah, we have definitely come a long way.
Yes, yes, we have. What are your thoughts about Nigeria at 65?
Nigeria is 65. I know for sure that we are not where we used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I know for sure that we are making gradual steps,
Mm-hmm.
but at 65, one would want to say that you have enough experience,
Mm-hmm.
because at 65 now they'll say, this one, in an old person, we don't get wisdom from
Mm-hmm.
experience. So we are supposed to be in a position where we're even advising other nations. You
Mm-hmm.
get. So, but
Absolutely.
there's a lot of things going on. There are a lot of things going on that we can't actually remove our eyes from, that we can't take our minds off, because I mean, it's a lot. When you look at a lot of things that are going on in Nigeria, if you're looking at it from the political angle, looking at it from the economy, looking at it from, I mean, even gender issues, looking at it from health. I mean, it's just a lot. There's still a long way to go, but I know that we're
Mhm.
not where we used to be. But there's just gradual progress. But it's better than no progress at all.
Well,
Better
yes,
than no
yes, yes,
progress at
yes,
all.
yes.
So yeah, I'm optimistic that things will get better.
Yes, yes. I really like that you said even from gender, the lens of gender, because I was reading, did you get an opportunity to read the president's speech, independence speech? And something caught my attention, I think in the first paragraph, which really was there were only two women named amongst our founding heroes and heroines. There was Herbert Macaulay, Dr. Namdi Azikiwe, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Sir Amadu Bello. How many men have I mentioned? Then we have Margaret Eko. Then we start having
Mm,
men again: Anthony and Enahoro, Ladoke Akintola, Michael Lokpara, Aminu Kano. Then we have Fumilayo Ransom Kuti. And I thought that was really, really interesting. That was actually the first thing that caught my eye. And
mm.
like you rightly said, we've made progress. At least now we don't always have to mention Fumilayo Ransom Kuti as the only woman who has done
That's the
something.
only one. Yeah.
We have quite an amazing array of women who have gone into politics, who have done great things for Nigeria. We have Dora Akinyuli, we have Obi Ezekwesili, we have
Mm.
uh please help me out. Is how I had the names and then everything just disappeared from it. But we've had quite a number of women. We have the current Minister of Women Affairs,
Of
that's
course. Yeah.
Hajia Iman Suleiman. We have
Mm.
her, and we see women, at the forefront making decisions. We even have Senator Natasha Akpoti-Odoagan, who's finally been restored to her
Mm.
position. And like you said, it might be slow progress, but we are making progress all the same.
Yeah. It's
We
it's
are
better than no progress at all.
absolutely. And did you notice anything about this morning? Do you notice that every Independence Day it must rain?
Well, I've not noticed about every Independence Day, because I mean,
I'm telling
but
you.
for you to take note of that for me, then.
Yes, because when I was in secondary school, like I
Yeah.
never went to the stadium to march, but I remember that we would watch, the Independence Day parade. Unfortunately, this year's one was cancelled.
Mm.
But every year I remember that the kids will be at at the stadium and they will be drenched by rain. So as I even thought the rain was going to start maybe around 10, 11, 12. So when I started hearing the rain about 2 6 this morning, I was like, okay, oh, this one is a good sign. Maybe God is washing our sins away. Maybe it's a new Nigeria. Who knows? Who knows? Let's get into the headlines this morning but I can see our analyst. Good morning, Buki Femi Ajala. I think you are muted. Are you muted? We can't hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. Okay.
Okay, while we wait
Um,
for that, I think we'll go into the headlines this morning. Okay, we have quite a, I mean, when I was looking at the headlines this morning, one thing, there was one recurring piece of news, and I was like, God, I beg, please help us in this country. Anyway, headlines for today, Wednesday, 1st of October, 2025. We're starting with the Punch newspaper. Tinubu to address Nigerians on 65th Independence Day. He has already done that. INEC chair, security check begins. Council of States to meet. That's, I'm talking about, the INEC chairman, and everybody's waiting with bated breath. Yes. Next is The Guardian. Rose.
all right, so let's head on to the Guardian newspaper this morning. Just a minute, we'll just go through that. So on the Guardian newspaper, the first headline we have says Nigeria at 65, Tinubu hails reforms, says worst over, and urges unity and optimism. And then the next one on the Guardian says NAFDAC orders removal of 101 products and
Mm.
one against sale and use. Okay, this is good.
Yeah, because there's been quite some news in about fake drugs, so this is good.
Mm,
Fake
yeah.
drugs, fake products as well. Yes. Daily Trust, Nigeria at 65. FCT residents demand people-oriented policies. We also have electricity supply drops as oil union begins strike.
Hmm. Okay, so let's head on to the next headline we have this morning. And this particular one is coming from the Vanguard. And on the Vanguard, it says Nigeria at 65, the worst is over. We've turned a new corner, says Tinubu. So when he says the worst is over, can he pay that we'll start buying rice?
Rose, when I saw this headline, I remembered Adeyemi yesterday. I was like, Adeyemi,
So we're not going to start seeing rice like and how we used to buy it.
um,
Can we buy yam freely now? Can we buy
exactly,
beans? Like is petrol price going? So when you
exactly.
say the cost is over, like Daddy, please can you just explain
Daddy,
to us?
please, exactly.
Like Daddy, make it make it relatable. Let's understand where the worst is over is coming from.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, we just hope that we get to see it, not just hear it. We get to
Yes,
see it happen.
yes.
All right. So the next one, still on the Vanguard says federal government begins payment of 32,000 naira minimum pension, 12.95% increment to retirees. All right. If the retirees themselves are coming out to say they've received this, then I think
Mhm.
this is, to an extent good. If we're having increment, to retirees pensions, I mean, it's good.
Right. In the Tribune newspaper, we have Pengassin strike. Motorists grown as fuel queues resurface in Abuja. Hmm. We also have Tinubu mourns, others manhunt for killers of Arise TV anchor. I mean, we all woke up to this news yesterday morning, and it's been such a sad one because the more we see the news, the more we see the details of what happened. In fact, I think I had read that it was her screams that actually alerted her neighbors, and that is quite, I mean, we mourn, we send condolences with Arise TV, with her parents, with her family, her friends. Such a bright light, that was cut short at the peak, literally the peak of her life. Mm. Premium.
Hmm.
Next is Premium Times. Yes, Rose.
Okay, great. So let's head on to the Premium Times this morning. Let's take up the news we have from the Premium Times. It says Pengassin strike poses threats to national energy security, says NNPC. And
Mhm.
then another one says Nigerian government and Pengassin Dangote reconvene closed door meeting. I hope that this closed door meeting, will end in a better result or bring in a better result compared to what we had yesterday. All
Yes.
right, so let's head on to the nation.
In the Nation newspaper, we have Nigerian government, Pengason, Dangote, reconvene closed door meeting. Please follow Lord. As you have rained, as the rain has rained today, I beg. Shine light on us. Strike. Makinde increases Lautech teaching hospital subvention to 35 million naira.
Hmm. All right, on the cable, we have Tinubu. Those speaking ill of Nigeria should stop. The worst is over. All right, the next one on the cable says NECA, Pengasen strike capable of derailing Nigeria's fragile economic recovery.
Yes, in the pen pushing newspaper, we have reckless drivers kill five road safety, five federal road safety corps personnel on duty. We also have police arraign National Union of Road Transport Workers chieftain over dispatch rider's death in Lagos. I mean, this is good news because
Mm.
a lot of Nigerians, a lot of Lagosians were very convinced that this was never going to happen. So this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it is. I'm talking about the Federal Road Safety Corps members that were killed by reckless drivers. Now, this actually reminds me of, a few days ago when they asked for arms,
Yeah.
to be,
Yes.
so when I'm seeing this now, I'm now saying, okay, could this be one of the reasons why they're saying that, okay, probably they will need arms to work with. But even at that, I'm not
Even at
sure
that.
it will make us as safe as we should be. So this is quite sad. And at the end of the day, I think maybe Federal Road Safety should take the times you get to take driving lessons, even for truck drivers, you have to pass a particular test and then
Yeah.
you're given the certificate to make sure that. So, I
Yeah.
mean, maybe they could take that seriously,
Yes.
especially for, all our drivers. I think that would go a long way. All right, the last
Yes.
one we have from Daily Post this morning says fear in Benue community after soldiers allegedly opened fire at mourners, kill
Mm.
one. This is sad. And the last one we have from Daily Post says Dangote refinery role. You was scaring off investors. Senator Karimi cautious Penkerson. All right, so those are the headlines we have this morning on the newspaper review for the 1st of October
Yes.
2025.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm excited. Tomorrow is my birthday anyway, so yeah, I'm
Tomorrow's your birthday.
excited.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, tomorrow is my birthday and tomorrow is vow. So it's like double celebration for me.
Double celebration for you. Yay.
Yep.
Yay. Okay,
So
we have
yeah.
Buki here. Good morning, Buki. Hi, Buki. Can you hear us?
Bookie, you're
Yeah,
muted.
can you hear me now?
Yes, because you're
Yes,
muted.
loud
Yes.
and clear.
If you see my architecture design here, one device with my face, one device with my voice.
We can actually see the two devices here, but it's all good. Sometimes, technology can just make us go
I am
one way.
telling you, but it's fine. It's fine. It's part of our developmental plans in Nigeria. So happy 65th anniversary. Well, independence, to all our Nigerians, both home
Mm,
and abroad, So we want to celebrate. And it's good. I mean, I came in when you were talking about women and
yes.
the list of women that have done great things in Nigeria. And for me, I love what I had, and anytime I have cause to talk about what the women have done in Nigeria, I am blessed. I mean, I am happy. I'm telling you, and I'm proud. I'm proud of that gender. I'm proud, of we women. Kudos to all women, anywhere they are.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
it's raining,
What are your
and it's also raining as well. You mentioned it, and I
yes?
remember that I think I'd had opportunity of going for March past in my primary school.
Oh
I think
wow.
for two times, and then as a youth corper, our special is it the special squad?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because I mean, all throughout my years, right from the time you can march, my auntie will plug you into girls brigade. So I was in girls brigade. So They saw that matching skill of getting. So I was easily spotted for the special squad. So I
Mhm.
think I went once again. So and anytime there would be showers of rain. I
Yeah.
particularly want to one. My dad went with me, and he had to. I mean, after the match passed, he had to use the program, to cover my head. But honestly, for me, what are these signs? What are these signals? God has blessed Nigeria. God
Hmm.
has blessed
Yeah.
Nigeria, and we just have to be thankful.
All right. What are your before we get into our conversation this morning? This morning we're having a special Independence Days newspaper review. Well, I won't call it newspaper review, I'll call it roundtable conversation. We want to talk about Nigeria at 65. But before we even get into it, I would like to know what are your thoughts on Nigeria at 65 when you realize that October 1st, what was the first thing that came to your mind? I don't want you to overthink it and you're not like, oh, but I think. I mean, you've talked about it already, but what are your thoughts about Nigeria? Like, honestly, honestly.
Hmm.
So October 1st, 65 is like, wow, where are we?
Mm,
Where are we? Because like you said, I don't want to overthink it. So when you talk about 65, in fact, that 65 is like, who dash you?
mm,
You know, how did you work out this journey? How did you get here? It's like, okay, now we are here at 65. So the next thing now, my next brainwave is, okay, what can we even say about 65? Should we
mm,
be celebrating? Should we be mourning? What should be my position? Then the next thing is, I'm now balancing it. I say, you know what? Let me stay with those who are celebrating. Let me have my mind, in the right place, because I mean, I could still see one or two things that are good, and I'm sure we're going to delve into that. So that's just it for me.
all right. Okay,
Hmm.
let's get into it. Rose, you want to start?
Oh yes, Wiki. So Fumi rightly said, we're having like a round table this morning, to discuss Nigeria 65 from different angles, and we'll be having other analysts get to join us as time goes on, and we're also expecting Tone to join us, a bit later to really talk about Vow that's happening tomorrow, and I'm sure that we all here, and even Buki herself is excited about Vow, because this has been a long time, run for us at Women Radio. I think throughout this week, even myself, when I was in the office on Monday, it was like everywhere was tensed. So I can just imagine what's happening today. Emmanuel,
Mm,
the analyst that we know yesterday, left office at about, after 8 or so in the evening. So even Timmy himself has just been up and doing. And I can just imagine what's going, on in Abuja with
mm,
some of our staff members who are there, and even Toon herself. So I can just imagine how it is, last minute changes and so
yeah.
on. So it's quite a lot, and it brings a lot of women. And this time around, we're expecting about 500 people. We have
Mm-hmm.
leaders who are coming from all over. So I mean, talking about bringing in the gender aspect of it, Nigeria 65. With Buki this morning, we're looking at gender equality, culture, and finance and all of that at 65. So as it is, Buki, we've come a long way, like you said. And just yesterday on her lens, we're looking at, if you want to look at a human at 65 years, there are a lot of things that the person must have achieved, or maybe not even achieved, but there are a lot of experiences that the person must have, been able to gather over time. So when we want to look at it from the gender lens, gender equality, the fight for it, right from the time of Fumi Kuti, Rasom Kuti, right from her time up to this very moment, has there been a shift? Because when we look at it all round, it seems as if we're still fighting for a seat at the table, as it is, and with programs like Vow and so many other programs that have brought women together to uplift the voices of women. How far do you think we have come in terms of the issues of gender equality, in Nigeria, knowing fully well that we're 65 years? Are we heading somewhere at all, or you think we still have a long way to go? Knowing fully well that right now, in the National Assembly. The number of women we have, there's nothing to write home about. So, and we're hoping that that will change in the next round of election. And that's why we're looking at things like the reserved seat bill. That's why we're looking at, so many other policies that are probably in place but have not even yet been implemented too. So okay, let's get your thought on that before we even look at culture. So hopefully someone gets to join us pretty much soon, and then we talk about vow a whole lot. But Buki, let's hear your thoughts on the state of gender equality compared to other African countries with Nigeria 65.
Okay, like I said, I will take the tool of celebrating. You talked about the likes of Margaret Echo, you talked about the likes of Oluwafunmilayo and some Putin. I also love to talk about the about women. Anytime I'm talking about women, I'm always talking about the
Mm,
about women. Talk of the Amina, and then of course there are quite a whole lot of them as at that time also that we were not able to relate with them. But the bottom line is that what did they do at that time? What was the season at that time that we are able to spot them up? Because, right, as at that time, it was more of men, 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 men. But do you know, you might not even hear the name of Madam, what do we call her? Awolowo's wife, Hilda. No, no, no.
mm,
Yeah.
Is she Hilda? Is she Hilda?
Hilda.
That was Lady Anna Awolowo. But you will know that some of them, the Zeeks, well, I'm not too sure about Tafawa Balewa, but those that were outspoken at that time, I call them the liberating fathers. Yes, we might talk about them as the founding fathers. And I'll explain why I'm saying liberating founding. They liberated us from independence. But one of the things that did not do so well was cementing us together as a nation. But it's good, they have done their own job. So we are the ones to now begin to see how we can now cement ourselves, and be that nation that it was their dream. But they did so well. Now, the question is, what was the season at that time that these women shone? It was because men, for that time, you can't. So, they had to break all the ropes, do everything to
mm,
ensure that they talk. And if you look at their personality, they were very strong, very, very strong personality. You cannot clamp them down. But see what
yeah.
the progress is now. Even if you don't have that kind of strong personality, now you can still shine. And it's not just about politics now. So I'm talking about the development that has gone. You see it in all the spheres of influence. So in nation building, we talk about 7 critical spheres of influence. There are many, but if you can tackle these 7, then you are building a nation. We talk about business, we talk about government, we talk about family, we talk about education, we talk about media, we talk about religion, and then we talk about entertainment, media. Our tone, the tone is there, shining. I mean, the first women radio station. Who would have given a license as at that time? Tell me. Nobody.
Mm,
Nobody.
yeah.
You understand? But look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, and we celebrate her at any point in time. We celebrate Tone all the time. Then we talk about religion. Who will have sat down to listen to a woman who is carrying Bible or carrying, well, I'm not too sure of Quran now, but the one that I'm sure of, I will be able to talk about that. But we have women leaders right now. Then let's talk about entertainment. They're smashing it everywhere. Nigeria,
Mm,
Africa, globally, they're smashing it. You understand? I mean, let's talk about what's the name of this woman now? She's also in the media. Um, she did the stage play of Fela. Um,
Okay. Bolanle Austin Peters.
Bolani
Bola
Austin, yes.
Peter, carried our culture from here, to the global stage. You understand? And of course, see what she has done with terra culture. I'm just mentioning, the names of women that come to my mind in their different spheres. Education. Education. Let us even talk about the formal education, right? We talk about the Vivian Fowlers. I think one of them just died. I can't remember who
The
now.
mom, yeah, the grandma just passed. Yes.
Yes. I mean, you understand. And then, of course, let's look at Alaba lost into it in Abeokuta. You have the, I think, is it the Akiko base? I can't remember. I mean, Antilara, Auntie Lara, for those who live in Lagos at, is it somewhere in Ikeja, they have been there for a very long time. And look
Hmm.
at what they are doing now. Do you know how many, when you go to the association meeting of proprietors and school owners, in fact, most of them, I might not be able to come up with a percentage, but more than 60% of them are women. More than 60% of them are women. So, and talking about business, I don't think I want to go there. Mention them. They are now MDs of banks, MD of
Yeah,
parastatals.
CEOs. Yeah.
I think I mean, the last time we counted, I think we counted about 11 MDs that are women, and all that, don't let me go there. I know we have Zenith, we have, even for chairman of banks, at least I know Wema, the chairman is a woman. You understand? We know of Ibuka Woshika as at that time.
Yeah.
So when you look at development, we have actually come far. And then in terms of family, maybe in terms of family, there had been a little bit of dilution, because as at that time, because we need to balance these things up.
Mm-hmm.
As at the time we're talking, 60 years, 65 years, 70 years ago, it was, so much. Even the women know that, come, if my husband has gone to work, me, I have to sit down and take care of the children and do that and do this and do that. But there has been a shift. Is it a good shift? I think it's a
Mm-hmm.
good shift. But the way we are handling it is just the way, that I think we need to handle it better in such that what we want to do to ensure the presence of the man in the home, you know, we get it, and the children get it 360-degree, whole, not just 180 degree. But when you talk about family, it's not just the presence of the man in the home, but also the health. Now we talk about mental health, particularly mental health. Mental health crept into the stage. So if you look at our development in terms of where we're coming from, in
Mm-hmm.
terms of gender, we are progressing. Because mind you, I'll use this to wrap up. Statistics said that for gender, for us to meet, it will take about 100 years. But I'm saying
Hmm.
that with everything that we are doing now, even the reserve sick bill, it will not take 100 years anymore. It will not take 100 years anymore. And there are stages, I want to use the one of information, comprehension and application. We talk about knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. You know, we have gone past
Hmm.
the era of information. Everybody knows now. But some of us are still in the era of comprehending. Okay, what are these people saying? We are hearing them, but what exactly are they saying? But some have moved away from comprehension. I now understand. I want to act. Wisdom, application. So we need to quickly move away from that era of what are you people saying? I hear you, but I can't comprehend it. To what application? But we give kudos to those who understand and are applying it, you know, everywhere they are smashing the ceiling, and expressing themselves, So we want to see more women representation, even in the legislature. I was trying to do some statistics, and it says out of the 1,460 seats in the Nigerian parliament, we only have 64. We
Hmm.
only have 64 taken by women. And in the history of Nigeria, we've only had one female governor. One female governor, Dame Etiaba. And she actually did it for 3 months before she now handed over, I mean, of course, by the law, to our dear Peter Obi. That was
Mm-hmm.
2006, Anambra. Right. But are we not making progress? Oh, we are making
Mm-hmm.
progress now. So yes, you might say, okay, out of the 469 seats that are available, national and the Senate and the House of Rep, we occupy 19. which is actually a drop from last year. I mean,
Hmm.
let's face it, it's a drop the last the ninth assembly. But if we look at the House of Assembly in the states, as of today, we have 45 out of 991, which is about 4.5% representation.
Hmm.
But then I also want to now say something. These are the ones that we are looking at, but nobody is looking at the commissioners. We have
Hmm.
women as commissioners. We have women as heads of agencies, right? We have women, at the federal level, the head of staff, she's a woman, she's a woman. And then when we look at the local government, check when they're sworn, at least the last one that they did in Lagos, check, you had a balance of women there, you know. And then CDCs, you have women there. Councillors, you have women there, apart from the women leaders. Now we are now saying that women leaders are not just there to just tick the box, but the women leaders must also have a voice to advocate, for women placement. So we are moving, we are moving. We might think it's slow, but if we compare to where we are coming from, we have made giant strides. And so what are we
Hmm.
saying? We need to make the more giant strides now. Since we now know that that small effort of ours, that voice that we have, that advocacy that we are doing, that action that we are doing, you know, gave back to this big thing. And so let us continue, Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Buki, for taking us, all round, all round entertainment, politics, and all of it. The journey of women so far, and how far we have come. All right,
Hmm.
this is your Women Radio WFM 91.7. It's 3 minutes after 8 on the Nigeria's first radio station for women and their families. My name is Rose. I have Fumi with me, and we also have our first analyst for the day, Buki Femi Ajala, and we are having a roundtable today as regards to the Independence Day, and we're looking at it from every aspect of it this morning. We'll have our other analysts join us, and we're also expecting someone to join us to really take us, with what is going on as regards to the Voice of Women conference and awards that is taking place tomorrow in Abuja. So this is your Women Radio. Please be a part of the program. Darling, we'll love to hear from you because our newspaper review would not be complete without hearing from you. So please do well to dial the number 07000 917 917. You can also go ahead and dial the number 09155 917 917. And of course, feel free to send us WhatsApp messages and text messages to 080 081 55
8155 917
02
917 0703
917 or
1756
070
Yeah.
317 Those are the numbers to get in touch with us this morning. We'd definitely love to hear from you this morning on the program. Okay, so for me, let's talk about the cultural aspect with Buki
Hmm.
um before we head on.
Buki, how do cultural norms and traditions, because we know as women that this is something that we've been struggling while we're fighting for equality, we're fighting for representation in politics, we're also fighting on the home front, culturally, traditionally. So how do cultural norms and traditions, how do they empower us, how do they hinder women's participation in leadership and the economy? I don't want to expatiate in that because I feel like you have it covered. Yes, please.
Yeah. So when we talk about culture, I mean, it's a way of life,
Mhm.
we believe, our beliefs, like you mentioned, tradition, our values, our language, our food, our dressing, our music, that's the way we live. Somebody is taking palm wine and he's listening to music, or he's even dancing to a music that you cannot even hear, but he's the one singing the music in his heart. It's just a way. Like somebody mentioned to me that Nigerians, you are always full of we're always happy. you know, Nigerians are always happy. I won't mention the name of the country that they're so dull. But with Nigeria, that excitement is always there and all that and all that. Is our culture. Do you know what we are actually exporting that? We are
Mm.
exporting that, and that's why I
Mm.
find that you will hear somebody who wants to marry a Nigerian. He or she is not a Nigerian, but they will insist they want to have a Nigerian marriage. In fact, I had one. They were not really Nigerian, so to say, but they said they wanted to have a Nigerian party. So they had to even hire Alaga, to do that. That was a bit funny to me that both of you are not Nigerians, but you want a Nigerian a Nigerian
Mm. Mm.
engagement. So you see that we are exporting, our way of life, in the way we do. Look at our dressing. I will still come to the angle of the challenges, but I just want us to look at even the good things that our culture has brought for us. Do you know
Mm.
that even in Nigeria now, when you dress up, look at the men.
Mm.
Look at the men. You see what the men have done. How many years ago you will hardly see a young man putting on filler?
Mm.
Think about it. But now it's a fashion. They
It
are
is.
happy to do it. Now they're exporting it. There isn't somebody who is even exporting the filler, branded abroad and making his dollars,
Mm.
you know. And he will tell you the one to the left or the one to the right. I don't know that because I don't want to confuse Nigerians. One is if the one or the other one is for married, one is for unmarried people. You understand? I mean, that is our culture. Talking
Mm.
about music, we want to talk about music. Do you know how many Nigerians have gone to the global stage? You talk about the Bomber Boys and
Yeah.
Shake, Whiskey, Thames. I didn't know that Burna Boy got a grammar award and all that. And then
Grab.
when you talk about people from the place where I come from, at least we know about Nathaniel Bassey that was invited
Mm.
during the inauguration. At I think it was the morning meeting or something that he was invited, global stage. So are we not doing well? Even in language, do you know that Japa now? Japa, everybody understands Japa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Japa. Sure.
Oh, yes, we brought that into the lexicon. We brought that. So you can see that we are very creative. However, when it now comes to our tradition, based on our cultural norms coming from the patriarchal society, where we still have harmful widow rights. You are a woman, you are not to be hurt, you should be seen, and all that and all that. Yes, we've not done too well in that, but if I should compare it to where we are coming from, my sisters, we have done better. Oh, we have done
Mm.
better. We now have laws now. We have VAP. We have Child Rights Act. You understand? I mean, some states are domesticating it.
Yeah.
Some are not domesticating it because of their religious tendencies and whatever it is. But they will domesticate it. Either they like it or not. When the women in that place rise up, they will domesticate it. And it's not just about domestication, but also in terms of execution, executing it. Even the states that have domesticated, how many of them are even executing it? What are the processes they have put in place? For me, that is just that part of that culture thing that I feel that we
Hello.
have not done so well.
Hello.
If we
Good
look at
morning,
all,
Women Radio.
Oh, we have
good
a
Good
call.
morning.
morning.
Okay,
Hello.
let's
Good
go on.
morning, Evangelist
Good
Dixon.
good morning, Women Radio.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody in the studio. Auntie me, Madam Buki, and everybody in the
Good
studio.
morning,
Happy
Evangelist.
Independence.
Good
Happy
morning.
Independence Day to you.
And this evangelization. I wonder a world without woman, how it will be.
Mm.
It will be complete. Even when a man has not married, that man, even God himself, after creating man, he has to make him a helpmate. knew that man is not going with a woman. So in any area with a woman. And when you see the key posts like education, women are the leaders. Look at most of the professors, they are women. And I can say I work in education for 24 years before I retired. And many I work with women. And we have different women. We have good women, we also have bad women. As we have good men, we also have good men. But when we are canvassing, let us canvass for good women that can, move this nation forward. We need good youth, good women, good men. If we have a good leader today, Nigeria will change this country. Sometimes it's not when anytime I always say that I don't really, when it comes to gender equality that I don't always, but that God say man is the head of the hand, and being the head, you are the chief servant. That's what I mean. If like if a man is going, you are going out now. If maybe you don't have car, before you enter, as a man, you should allow your wife to enter first. You see her first. Even when you are going out with your wife in a car, your wife before enter, you shut the door before you enter. That's way we treat women. So when I say man is the head, I don't believe that the head is the chief servant. And when you come home, sometimes the woman may be tired. But if somebody enter kitchen, I cook, wash plate, do other things. So you should understand when I say I don't argue gender equality. So according to the Bible says you are the head, that means the chief servant. That's how Bible puts it. And that's how it is. So let me congratulate the woman. I believe we get there one day. If we all can do the right thing. I'm not moved by Nigerian economy. This one is saying. So we are done that we're moving forward. But people are rich, so that's why yesterday see how people contributing. They are angry. We don't need to be so they don't have high blood pressure. We need to, so that's why people are encourage themselves in the word of God. If we are not moved by Nigerian economy, God will own economy. What are difficult to the children of God must surely make it. Because I believe that if we all do the right thing in our Nigeria will move. Sometimes we are yes, the president because they have their own, but what about we in our little place? Are we doing the right thing? Let us all do the right so we can move this nation for that new Nigeria we are looking for. It's all about our own collective ideas. And like see how you are performing in your own place that somebody is celebrating on Women's Day. So in my own place too, I do it so. Other people in their own place. When Nigeria move forward, we move forward. We are doing the wrong thing and we are praying. I told God will not hear our prayer. When we do the right thing and pray, that's when God will hear our prayer. Let's all do our right thing in all our details so that this nation will move forward. I've enjoyed this country before. I'm over 60. I think I'm 62. I know where I started in those days. In those days, how Nigeria was. Look at today. But I still believe we still get there if we all can do the right thing. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. Thank you. Congratulations once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Evangelist Dixon, for calling. We do appreciate your call and for being a he for she man. These are the men we love to celebrate and we love to hear more from you, because hearing more from you means that other people will take cue from what you do. And as an elderly person, you were just telling us words from experience of which we should all get to have from. All right, Buki. So you were saying a lot, but Towo is here, and I know that she has a lot because Vow is just tomorrow. So I can just imagine the number of things that are running through her mind. I don't envy her at all at this point. I don't envy Towo at all. But hey, Voice of Women conference is tomorrow, and Towo has just joined us, like we said earlier on in the show, that we're expecting that she gets to join us, and we get to talk about what's been going on with the preparations for Voice of Women conference, some of the last minute changes. Sometimes if you see our WhatsApp group, I'm like, how is Towo taking all of these things? Because even us that are in Lagos here, Ogun State, we're feeling the heat, let alone she and some other staff members who are in Abuja. Towo, you're welcome. Thank you for taking a little bit of time to join us this morning, because we're having like a round session for the Independence Day this morning. But yeah, we'll definitely have time to talk about Vow. So Towo, Vow is tomorrow. How far, Towo? How is it going?
Uh, so we thank God, like we usually say in Nigeria, we thank God. Um, Everything is on course. I will push it that way. Our guest, Dr. Fumzile, the deputy
Yeah.
former deputy president of South Africa, is arriving um, today. Um, we chatted earlier this morning, so she's arriving today. Um, and we're looking forward to her sharing with us, especially the power of the men allies, for her to have survived, how she was able to navigate that, which is what we are pushing for in Nigeria. So we're looking forward to having her. Of course, we also have the power women, um, the current our minister, Honorable Iman Suleiman Amin FSI, our Minister for Women
Yeah.
Affairs, is going to be there. She's going to give us a keynote, and also giving a keynote is the Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, our PhD GCON, the Speaker of the House of 10th House of Representatives. Irelu Bisifayemi Gileva, British Deputy High Commissioner to Nigeria, um, Barrister Nkiruka Onyejocha, and the Honorable Commissioner for Women Affairs are two women who have been able to maintain and sustain their position in politics over the years through the power of their community. So they're going to come and talk to us, talk to Nigerian women, talk to their colleagues in politics, how to,
Mm.
ensure that they stay um, there using the power of the women at the grassroots level. So preparations is going on, like you said.
Yeah.
This is a phase of preparations, and we have to quickly put this makeup on so that we look the part. But hey, we're doing everything, and there is a fantastic team that is making
Mm.
this happen. You know that.
Yeah.
It is a team that is making this happen. Um, we have our communications team who are ensuring that everything is going out. Emmanuel, I know, is having sleepless nights. Of course, you
Honestly.
as well. Emmanuel is having sleepless nights. The project team, Nimi, who is project managing our conference this year, I don't even know how she copes managing me, managing the team, managing Val. She's there as well with Aisha, Sunny, Aisha, Abubakar, you know, the sales team, the business development team,
Mm.
everybody, pulling, doing their bit without being told. It's the team that is making this happen, and of course, the admin team, everybody. I'm just so proud of the team that we have, committed, dedicated, and you hear the ninth edition has to be the best. It has to be our
Mm.
best. So we're doing everything we can, and of course the support of the board of directors, the board of trustees, consultants. We've had a wonderful time. So after tomorrow in the evening, we're also hosting UN Women, and Olin has kindly agreed to host a dinner to
Mm.
well, dinner, but a kind of what we call um, mentoring roundtable. So
Yeah,
we're
okay.
having 50 women sit with Dr. Fumzile,
Mm.
and she's going to tell us, everything we need to know, from working with women in the community, working with men, staying on
Oh,
top of the game. So
that's
that's
impressive.
something exciting we're looking forward to after the VAL conference, obviously.
Definitely. Wow. All right, so this is like long time planning. Yesterday on her lens, I was like, in January, February, we're like, when is Val going to come? September, and here we are. It's here already, and we can see that all the little plannings that we've been doing right from the beginning of the year, has brought us to this moment. And for this year, we're looking at about 500, women coming together, and the he for she's who are among, all of the guests that we're bringing together. So for this year, the theme is Nigerian women and the power of collective action.
Yes.
So
Yes.
for you, as the host of Vow, what would you want all the women who have gathered together to take home from this year's Vow? What's that one thing you wish that every Nigerian woman, whether you're a leader, you're from the rural community, you are in the political space, you are in the private sector, public sector, wherever you find yourself, even a stay-at-home mom, what would you want them to take home? Those that are going to attend the events physically, virtually, or going to listen through the radio or watch on other platforms. What would you want them to take home? What's your wish for them to take home for this year's VAL conference?
See, this year's conference, the ninth edition of the Voice of Women Conference and Award, is our call to action.
Mm.
And there are two defining priorities for us, for Nigerian women. We've got to amplify the voices of grassroots women. They form the largest voting bloc in Nigeria, right? We've got to amplify their voices. And the second thing we need to do is to advance the passage of the special seats reserved for women bill, which is a critical step toward deepening Nigeria's democracy and opening new doors for women's representation. So let me tell you why we have to amplify the voices of grassroots women. Women Radio carried out a survey, national survey, in the 36 states of Nigeria, including FCT. And the survey revealed that 8 out of 10 grassroots women have a permanent voter's card and they vote, right? However, their votes are overwhelmingly influenced by men, resulting in the grassroots women voting for more men than women. And even the few women that the grassroots women vote for, right, are largely determined by men. This is a hard reality that underscores the urgent need for collaborative action towards a transformative and inclusive Nigeria. That's why the power of the collective, the power of the grassroots women, and the positioning of elite and urban women is very key. Okay, so we need to allow the grassroots women, and they told us why they vote the men and what the women need to do for them to vote them. And that's why we started this last year. But for the 9th edition, right, we need to harness our numbers because we have the numbers. We need to harness our numbers. We need to harness the power so that the women in politics, right, and women in leadership in the corporate sector can capitalize, can understand that power and speak the language of grassroots women, right? When you speak their language, when you meet them where they are, when you identify with them, when you empathize with them, when you sympathize with them, right? They will give you that power, the power that they are holding that is in them. They will vote you. They will make sure you get there. They will make sure you retain your position. They will make sure you're supported. And this cuts across. It's not just women in politics. I was talking to the CEO of Asha Microfinance Bank, and she spoke about the power of the market women, the financial power of the market women in retaining, in helping the finance bank to retain its position. They've got money. They've got money. Women, grassroots women have money. They have money. And so if they have their money and they have their numbers, then you've got to understand them so that they can keep you where you are. That's what we're doing at Val Conference this year, amplifying their voices and making our women, elite women, urban women to understand why we have to tap into it, why we have to speak the same language, why we have to work together as women. So that, because you know what, this is me now, this is Tom, and I'm convinced, and I know this, that the grassroots women are going to help us elect Nigeria's first female governor. They're going to use their
Yeah.
votes. That's the only way it can happen. That's the only way. The appointment is good. We want the appointment is good, but we also need to work with them and the men who influence them. Right? We need to work with the women and the men that influence them. So for us, this year's conference seeks to transform advocacy into impact and our collective strength into historic change. I need to quickly acknowledge those who made it possible for this year's conference. It's not easy to bring in a former deputy vice president. She doesn't travel alone. She travels with with a team of about 5-7. MacArthur Foundation has been very, very, very supportive. MacArthur Foundation, Amandla, at First Bank, LIRS, Asha, Airpeace, Nemasa. We are very grateful to them. They made it possible, right? Of course, our other supporters, our Manifesto, WorldLink, Sterling Bank, Hair, Rapper, Health Connect, Wisdom Circle, these are people who made it happen. But I need to acknowledge MacArthur and Amandla for the role they played. And our colleagues in the media, we are always grateful to the support that we benefit from the media. AIT, I need to single out AIT here because AIT came to our rescue at the last dying minute, and AIT is taking the conference live for us. News Central is going to take bits of it live, but AIT has just supported us. Airpeace is bringing everybody. Madame arrives, and then Lagos Airpeace is bringing her and bringing all our participants that are coming in. We're very, very grateful to everybody that have supported us in all of this. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So at this point, we'll just let you go so that you can attend to other things. But trust me, Val is not going to end on newspaper review. We're going to keep talking about it tomorrow. We'll have it live, on Women Radio. We're rooting for you. We're rooting for Women Radio. We're rooting for the Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation. This is our own. So anything and ultimately. So definitely, support it. Yesterday.
Kudos. I must put my own mouth inside this matter. Kudos. We celebrate you. And we actually mentioned you when it talks to media. I mean, the giant stride that women, have taken, and you are the one that actually pioneered that. So we say kudos to you. We celebrate you. Look behind you. We go see us gidigba like this.
Thank you. Thank you. So it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow, 2nd of October, at the NAF Center in Abuja. By 8 a.m., customary of what we do at 8 a.m., we're going to serve breakfast. People should come in at 8 a.m. and then 9 a.m. the program starts with the first fireside, and hopefully by 3 we will be done. We're also giving out awards. The good thing about the award is that it's independent of Women Radio Management, Board of Trustees, and Board of Directors. But thank you to everybody that have supported us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Tito. All the best to us still here. All right, this is your Women Radio WFM 91.7. It's, of course, 29 minutes after 8 on this side of the radio. Don't forget, we said we're having a roundtable this morning on the newspaper review. We just had someone come in to talk about Val. So, Buki, I would, plead with you to stay till after this break, and then you just, wrap up on your thoughts. And then we have the next analyst coming to take on other conversations. Okay, because I know Fumi had given time to each of the analysts to be here with us this morning. So let's quickly go on this break. When we come back, you just wrap up on your thoughts on, cultural backgrounds and even how far we've come as women at Nigeria 65. And then we bring in our next analyst who has joined us already, Ademia Deul, who has joined us already. So do want to stay with us. This is your Women Radio WFM 91.7. And this is still the program, the newspaper review, but we're having a roundtable this morning for Nigeria at 65. So do want to stay with us.
Being a victim of corruption? Do you want to report how corruption affects you and your community? Send an SMS or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537.
Something big is coming with Better Play. Get ready to turn 500 naira into a 200,000 naira daily jackpot. Yes, you heard me right. 200,000 naira every single day. The more tickets you grab, the higher your chances of winning. Stay tuned because this is the game changer you've been waiting for, coming to you on Women Radio 91.7 FM. Are you ready to play and win big?
My people, something big don't land and a money rain dey fall. Better play, better chance. 200k fit enter your hand if you try your luck. Oh, better play, better chance.
Now 3 times every day, them they call winners for radio. Yes, now with just 500 naira, you fit win up to 200,000 naira every single day. Just join the Better Play lottery now and listen for your name for radio. 10 a.m., 2 p.m. and 6 p.m.
Better play, no dull yourself. Go get your ticket. Sharp. Buy am for www.betterplay.ng or just dial *347*154#. You want boost your chance? Buy reach 20 tickets if you want win.
Follow us for Facebook at Better Play and Instagram at Better Play NG to get correct updates. Now your turn to chop this money, oh.
Better play, better chance. You fit be the next lucky banger. Only people wey don reach 18 years fit play. Play responsibly.
This October, the voices of women will unite in a powerful call to action as Nigeria rises. Join us on Thursday, October 2nd, 2025 at the NAF Conference Center in Abuja, Nigeria for the Night Voice of Women Conference and Awards, VOW 2025. Speakers include Vice President Kashim Shatima, GCON, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Ponzile Nlambo Nkuka, former Deputy President of South Africa, Imam Suleiman Ibrahim, Minister for Women Affairs, Barrister Inkiru Onyedioja, Minister for State Labour, Adijat Adeleye, Kafilat Ogbara, Erelubisi Fayemi, Ansatu Adegbite, Sherifat Taliat, Ebere Mfendu, Gileva, British Deputy High Commissioner. VOW 2025 is a strictly by invitation event that celebrates the power of collective action where women rise together. This initiative, spearheaded by the Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation, is in collaboration with Women Radio 91.7 FM and supported by the MacArthur Foundation, Amandla Institute, First Bank, LIRS, NIMASA, and Asha Microfinance.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are NIMASA. New face, rejuvenated service. NIMASA, changing the tides in your favor.
NIMASA is proud sponsor of VOW 2025.
Jíjẹ́ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Women Radio á fún ẹ ní àǹfààní láti darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn obìnrin bíi tiẹ̀ yálà akẹ́kọ̀ọ́, oníṣòwò, oníṣẹ́ àdáni, òṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì, ìyàwó ilé tàbí àgbẹ̀ ní gbogbo ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ 36 ní Nàìjíríà. Tó o bá ti jẹ́ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Women Radio, a ó bẹ̀ polówó okòwò rẹ lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́, ó sì ní àǹfààní láti jẹ ẹ̀bùn tó jọjú lórí àwọn ètò wa. Forúkọsílẹ̀ ní wfm917.com, darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí Facebook, kó o sì download mobile app wa níbikíbi tó o bá wà. Jíjẹ́ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Women Radio jẹ́ ètò láti iléeṣẹ́ WFM 91.7 pẹ̀lú àtìlẹ́yìn MacArthur Foundation àti Nigeria Media Innovation Program.
Jama'a, wani abu babba ya sauka kuma ana zubar da kuɗi kamar ruwa.
Hakika, da naira 500 kawai zaka iya cin nasarar har naira 200,000 a rana. Shiga Better Play yanzu kuma saurari sunanka kai tsaye a rediyo da karfe 10 na safe, karfe 2 na rana da karfe 6 na yamma.
Sai tikitinka a www.betterplay.ng ko danna *347*154#. Kana son karin dama? Zaka iya sayan tikiti har 20.
Ka biyo mu a Facebook at Better Play da Instagram at betterplay.ng don sabbin bayani. Lokacinka ne ka ci wannan kuɗin. Better Play na buɗe ne kawai ga masu shekaru 18 da sama. Yi wasa cikin hankali.
I feel that there's some sort of lack of professionalism in this because we're talking about 100 lives.
Government has to also put in place a structure to make it look like what they have in mind.
Join us on our lens on Women Radio 91.7 FM.
How do we stop crime in the society? Because at the end of the day, if a man cannot provide for his wife anymore, he looks for all that means. We should address Nigerian problems. We should not.
Our lens every Monday to Friday by 9:05 a.m. as women across Nigeria tackles trending issues, one honest, thought-provoking discussion at a time. Because when women speak, the world listens.
Driving through traffic? Bored at home? Or maybe you're having a bad day? Ease your mind with great music, entertainment, and lots of laughter on the Evening Experience every weekday from 4 to 9 p.m. on WFM 91.7, the voice of women.
Are you a woman who is keen on breaking the bias? Are you looking for a welcoming community with a strong support system that empowers the female gender? Do you need a safe space that is candid, original, and authentic like the queen you are? Then this is the program for you. Tune in to Real Women Real Talk with Kiki Okewale on Women Radio 91.7 FM every Friday by 5 p.m. as Kiki Okewale brings on different leading women who will give you a bite into their growth journey and how they beat all odds to become who they are today. Real Women Real Talk.
Did you think we were done? Not at all. We are not. We are not. And we're nowhere near being done this morning because we have a lot to talk about. It's Nigeria 65. So pardon us if we decide to have a long talk this morning with you. My name is Rose. I have Olufuniche with me. We still have Buki. And of course, our next analyst who has joined us, Adeyemi. I don't know. Another day was just coming to my mind. But hey, he has joined us already, and we're just going to continue with the conversations this morning. Please feel free to be a part of the program. Dial 07000 917 917. You can also dial 09155 917 917. For WhatsApp messages, text messages, please do well to send it to 08155 917 917. Or 07031756537. All right, Buki, kindly take us through, your final thoughts on some of the discussions we've had this morning, and of course, the VAL conference in Awata is coming up tomorrow, and then, bring in our next analyst.
Okay, so let me start from where Tom stopped, talking about the conference. And I'm already excited. I'm seeing that, okay, we'll have to work out this journey tomorrow, online, because I'm in Lagos, I'm not in Abuja. But we will be part of the online conversation because a whole lot of things is happening. I mean, there's a lot of cooking that will be done tomorrow. You understand? So you have to be ready with your plate after the cooking so that, they can serve you. Because if you're not there with your plate, I don't know, maybe it's the leftover you will get to, or maybe it's the burnt pots. But that's what I see, I see pictures, but that's what I see, that a lot of cooking is going to happen in the kitchen tomorrow. And then women, the women will hear. You don't have to be there physically, but you join online, and that's why they are making it open, that everybody just join AIT. Kudos to you. And also, I know that WFM will be live on, and then maybe all the snippets. Just ensure you are there to get, to see the thing being cooked, because it will change mindsets, and then it can begin to expose you to so many things that you didn't even know about. When people are sharing their experiences and sharing, most of the things that they went through, how they overcome challenges and things like that. Even you that you want to go into politics, you will get one or two tips, from there. And for those who will physically, it's a time to bond, it's a time to network, it's a time to meet new people. and just get out of your space, to that comfort zone, because you have to meet people, you have to smile, you have to be your best, you understand? Yeah. And at the end of the day, everybody is going to be fine, and Nigeria is going to be fine. And the reason why they are doing this is really not because of them. You can see how much money has gone into it. Thankfully, yes, they have sponsors, but they could have done with something else. They could have used the money for something else. But do you know why they are doing all this? It is because of Nigeria. They just want Nigeria, to flourish. Our national anthem, I mean, if you look at the words of our national anthem, it just talks about a great Nigeria. And that is it. They're just contributing their own quota. So what is your own quota that you are contributing? Oh, yeah, now. WFM is doing their own, all the sponsors are doing their own. Okay, so which one that they do? Yeah, now you only wakako. So you just get on and do it. Yeah. So and then of course in wrapping up, I was talking about one of the harmful practices that we have not been able to overcome. In terms of our culture, I talked about the richness of our culture, and of course, and I wanted to narrow down on this particular one that we seem not to be doing so well. But if we look at where we are coming from, you will see that there has been a jump. But when you compare
Yeah.
it to the other aspects of the culture, you see that, oh, this has been a bit slow, and it's just because of that effect, that patriarchal effect that is still there. Most of these things come from the family institution. I love what the caller said. I just wanted to add my own to it, that it is only when you get into the family institution that the issue of the man being the head and the woman being the next person, a supporter, comes in. Outside of the family institution, there is nothing like that. Outside of it, there's nothing like that. But when you now say you want to go into the family institution, that is when that comes in, that the man has to be the head. And then, of course, the woman comes in there to support. But the man being the head does not mean lordship, the way we think about it, because that's the patriarchal mindset that we are going through. It just talks about the person who sets the vision, who sets the direction, leads. And, we don't talk about leaders that lead from behind, It's not about, this is what I say you should do. You must kneel down and feed me. You must kneel down and do this. No, that's not what we are saying. You're not a man if you do that. Sorry to say. Why should I even say sorry? I'm even helping you. So I should not be saying sorry. You should be thanking me. You should be thanking me for telling you the truth. You understand what I'm saying? But somebody who sets the direction, who puts the values in the home, that this is a home, this is my home, this is the way I want everybody, to behave in the society, and also to make sure that everybody is taken care of spiritually, physically, financially, emotionally, and all that. And then the wife comes in as the supporter, as a supporter. And to be honest, if you really look at the job of the supporter, they do so much work. Look at the support of the house. Look at the support of the house. So the wife also, her head has to be correct, but back to what we're saying, we have been able to get the VAP Act, which I mentioned. We've been able to get the Child Right Act, and then some other things that have come in there. People now know that women have to be protected. Look at what you did concerning the traditional rulers, the Obas coming in to talk about how to handle women. I've forgotten the title of the program that WFM did. I think we've had about four Obas go through that. At least I know of Lagos and I know of Abeokuta, talking to men on how they're going to treat women. That was not there before. You understand? That was not there before. So you can see that we are making leaps and all that. And in wrapping up, in terms of identity, we talk about our identity. People, how do people see us? I talked about the fact that one other national said, "Are you Nigerians? You're just full of fun, excitement. When people are around you, excited. But in their own case, they're so dull." But apart from that, we talk about resilience, we talk about creativity, we talk about our boldness, our enterprising spirit. We have that in Nigeria. You understand? But then we tend to now clam it on religion, on ethnic, on ethnicity, So those two things, religion and ethnicity, they are the big problems that we have. We must overcome them in Nigeria if all these other things will come. You understand? So thank you very much. I want to say happy independence to my dear friend, Adelu. How are you? You don't say it. You don't
Good
say
morning.
it. Nice to see you all. I think the last time we met, we were jamming,
Yeah,
we were eating amala. We were eating amala
yeah.
with the same people.
Thank you, thank you, Madam Buki.
Don't worry about that.
Good to
We
see
don't let
you.
the jam.
Good to see
Nice
you.
to
Good to
see
see
you.
you. Quite a
So
while.
give my regards to the boys and my sister.
Oh, thank
Okay
you very
then.
much. I
Rose.
will.
All right,
Thank you so
thank you.
much.
Okay, so that's Buki, and she was our first analyst for today. So for me, let's head on to the next thing we have to talk about is 65 years in Nigeria.
Yes. Time check. It is 14 minutes to 9. And we have our analyst Adeyemi, who, our listener, our fellow newspapers family yesterday wanted his throat yesterday. You're very welcome. You're very welcome back. Thank you so much for doing this with us. Happy Independence Day to you, Adeyemi.
Oh, thank you. Adi, happy independence to you in the studio and to all our family around the world, particularly Nigerians. But whether in Nigeria or in diaspora, happy independence. But one thing I want to say, yes, but we should not forget that the nation Nigeria was created in 1914. Don't you think so? That's when I think Nigeria needed to celebrate more, because that's where the name and the country that we have came to be. So,
Yeah.
for all Nigerians, it's a great moment. And thank you for the opportunity to be with you on the program today, at least to share my views.
We absolutely love to have you on the show. Your optimism is you're always very upbeat. But let's get into it. We're talking about politics and governance today. When the topic came, I was like, yeah, Adeyemi is the man for the job. But Adeyemi, do you think that Nigeria's democracy after 65 years of independence, do you think that it has lived up to its promise of representation and accountability? What are your thoughts, please?
Oh, that's a tough question. But however, I want us to look at it. We said 65 years and
Yeah.
democracy. But don't forget that those 65 years were not really democratic government dispensation. We had military rule that actually take most of the years, from us as Nigerians. But so far, let's talk about since 1999 to date. What you see is that there is a lot of improvement, though we are not where we want to be as a democratic nation. But looking at what we have on ground now, you know that yes, we are on the course and we are on the right direction.
Oh, Ademi, that was the shortest answer you've ever given. I was still trying to balance that you're going to give me more answer. And then are you done, Ademi?
Even myself, I was like, okay,
because I know that there are other questions that will still come to be and that we are going to talk more on. So I don't want to, take most of the time talking about the year, the year it's a democratic nation.
And then we have to do like Guinness World Book of Records for you for the shortest answer possible.
That's interesting.
Okay, let's go into politics, right?
Yeah.
What role do you think political parties play in deepening or weakening our democracy? I mean, we've talked about this time and time again on Newspaper Review about, the role of political parties. Right now, Nigeria currently operates a two-party system. We have other parties that are trying, to come so that they can also be at the in the running. But currently we have the PDP, that's the People's Democratic Party, and then we have the APC. But do you think that these political parties, especially these two, have played a role in deepening or weakening our democracy? And then I think the other side of the question is, if whichever way the answer goes, how can these parties be reformed? I think on one of the editions we had, we had talked about the role of the opposition party, which is ADC, that's trying to be an opposition, right? But what is the role, or what is the role of these parties in democracy? Because they're supposed to be there for checks and balances. So if PDP is in power, APC or the other parties should be the ones doing checks and balances. But have they weakened or deepened our democracy? I think we don't want short answer.
Okay, thank you very much. When you look at it, you said we have two party in Nigeria. We have many. It's a multi-party system when it comes to
You understand what I mean? If you ask anybody on the road, they will tell you it's just a two-party system that we operate.
You see, that's what people see. But do you know that the other parties also they play, prominent roles.
Okay.
As it is when it comes to the political sphere of this nation. But when you look at so far, the parties that have ruled the nation from 1999 till date, we have just two major parties, which happen to be the PDP and the APC, who are presently in government. Well, when you look at the roles that they have played, whether we like it or not, in as much as I want to say, they have not done really well, but I will tell you they have held the democracy. If they have not been able to hold it tight, today you and I will not be under civilian regime. You know what we'll have. But so far, it has been good. And the fact is that we are just trying our best. We are in the teaching period. And we must understand, most people want to compare us to the Western world. But when you look at this Western world, how many years have they been there? And what are those hurdles that they have been able to cross to get to where they are today? The same thing we are going through. It's like a child that is trying to grow up. You know that it has to start to crawl first. And when he wants to walk, he will stumble. That's exactly, he will stumble. The mother or the father will take him or her up, and she will stagger here and there before her feet can be balanced. And after that, a lot of things comes into be. She will be taught how to, do some things, take a lesson when it comes to education, go to school. Even going to school, she will start, especially these days, she will start from crèche. Before going to nursery, then before primary school, so a lot of steps with what I will suggest as a person, as a Nigerian, is that, look, our democracy, we are on the right track. But the fact is that we need to be patient, and we as a people, we all have a role to play to make it a dream come true, so that the so-called military will not even think for 1 second of coming to rule us again. And that will be that you and I and the politicians, they have to protect our interest. It is not the interest of individual, but the interest of the nation. That is why these are politics of bias, voluminous politics should be stopped. We don't want, whatever it is good, let's say it is good. And when it is not good, what you do, you have a way by which you communicate. You don't just, condemn me totally. Like I do refer to the late said Chief Obafemi Awolowo, when MPN and UPN were the two more of the dominant parties in the Southwest. And it was on Obafemi was an opposition when MPN was in government. He will always come, he wouldn't say, oh, your government is bad, is this, you people are, no, he will just tell you, he will use words like, oh, I see the ship of the nation heading towards the rock. You see, these are ways by which you can talk. It is not that you tell us that the revolution, people, no, these words are not helping the system. And as it is, you see, I listened to Tone the other time, about the women role and the power of the women, that even the market women, when you look at it, that the wealth that they control is enormous, and the population is quite high compared to the male folk. But the truth is, now we are clamoring, and we know that it will come to pass that women will be well represented in government. But there's one thing I want us to look at as women. If you are going to be there, you have to do things different from the way the men have been doing it. What is it that the men has been doing that they are not been getting right? The moment they get to power, they usurp the power for their own betterment, forgetting the electorate and the state that they are meant to govern are right. So I will say that the women, you have a very big role to play. And I'm talking about the women at large. The women that are going to represent you must be educated. When I say educated, I'm not talking in terms of going to school. I'm talking about knowledge of the things to be done and how to do it, so that the women representation, their impact can be felt. And in the course of it, we can see that, the women are actually the mother of the nation. And when they come to the sphere, they do a lot of things and make things different. So that is one aspect. So talking about politics as it is, we have, so far, we are on the right track. All we need to do as a people is that, you see, whether we like it or not, in as much as we are saying those people are bad, let us, the people who are looking at them, let us be able to correct the mistakes they are making. Let us be able to change our orientation, so that when it is our time, when we eventually get there, we can make the difference. It is not that we also will copy the way they are going. When a father is a drunkard, a child will learn that, this is an abuse. I wouldn't want to go in the line of my father. I want to make a change. I want to make a difference. So that is the way that we ought to be looking at the situation and what we should be thinking of doing in the course of time. So it is not about the politicians there today, but it is about us, the people, that can make Nigerian politics to be sustained and to remain. And that we have to do with the fact that we are ready. We have a reorientation of how politics is being played, and what the role that you ought to play as a politician in the course of being in the sphere, and what you ought to do to the nation to make it to progress. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ademi, for what you have just told us. I mean, it's also up to us. We have a role to play. It's not just about our politicians. We all have a role to play. All right, this is your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. It's, of course, 2 minutes to 9 on this side of the radio. You might just be wondering what's happening. Don't worry, just relax. We are having a round table on the newspaper review this morning. This is not what we usually do. Newspaper would have rounded up, since 8:25.
Yes.
But here we are, because we have a lot to talk about as far. Today is 1st of October, 2025. It's our Independence Day. So permit us to, take a different route this morning. My name is Rose. Fumi is here with me. I have Ademi Adeolu with us this morning on the program. We had Buki previously, who joined us, talked about gender-related issues. And then we have our next analyst, who is looking at it from the political angle this morning. Feel free to be a part of the program by dialing 07000 917 917 or 09155 917 917. WhatsApp messages, please do what to send in your messages to 08155 917 917 or 070 317 56537. All right, Ademi, I would like to know, because over the years, we found out that people no longer trust the institutions, governance. It could be a lot for Nigerians, because we've so many times had promise and failed governments. When they will come and promise you a lot of things, and over time, you don't just see it happening. For some self, because they just want to show you a little bit of small, they want to do it first.
Mm-hmm.
They will start doing it, and then they'll tell you that, oh, when you vote me in, when you do this, when you do that, I'll complete the work or we'll continue the work. That's the end. So you won't blame us as citizens if we lack trust, in our leaders. And over time, this has just been the case. So how do we want to rebuild this? And how do we want to hold the government accountable so that they are truly able to serve? Because that's why they're there. But it's like, no, they're just there to have their own share of the national cake. So how do we get to rebuild trust as it is and be connected with the government? Over time, this has just been it. So, but this is 65 years. How do we do with our trust? Where do we keep it?
Wow, thank you very much, Rose. You see, if we really want to achieve what you have said, trust, it is until we as Nigerians become objective when it comes to politics and the politicians, until we are able to do away with sentiments, bias, or being an ethnic, based on ethnicity and religion. Until we are able to do away with this, that is when that trust, because by then, when you are being objective and you are not being sentimental on the ground of ethnicity or religion, you will be able to see the best in that person that is actually trying to vie for the office that you want to vote in for. Until we are able to do that. And you see, a lot of the games and I would say the role to be played falls more on we, the populace, on the electorates. It falls more on us. And the government, whether we like it or not, until we start holding them accountable, until we start doing those things that can, make them to be on their toes. Like I will always say, the Constitution of Nigeria has given us that power to be able to hold these people accountable. How do we go by it? There is the instrumentality of recalling your representatives, the people at the State House of Assembly or the National Assembly. By the time you see that they have detoured from what they ought to do as your representative, and you decide to recall one or two or three of them, what you will end up seeing is that you will see them sitting up doing the bidding of the people. Because they are the one that can hold the executive, checkmate, that can checkmate the executive, because the Constitution provides for that. But for that to happen, it lies on you and I. The honors is on you and I. That is when, you see, there is whether we like it or not. Yoruba will say, Ojúbọ̀rọ̀ kò ṣe gbọmọ lọ́wọ́ èkùrọ́. Palm kernel. You can't just say you see palm kernel and you want the kernel inside and you think you just get it easily. No, you have to break it, and not just breaking it. You have to take something like a stone or hammer to break it before you can get the nut out of it. That is exactly what it is. When you give a hole to a lunatic to eat a reed, he will not do it away, he will do it himself. That's the way Yoruba say, so as it is the role of we the people, when we are able to hold our representatives accountable to us, that is when the executive will be able to do the needful, and that's when you can build the trust. But as it is, all things being said, whether the government is doing right or not, we have to be objective about it. Over the years, and I'm going to say this morning, I wouldn't mind whose ox is God, but the truth be said, there is no government in Nigeria that has shown to be concerned about the welfare and the infrastructural development of this nation as this day present government. That is the honest truth. We must be honest with ourselves. You see, we should forget the fact that, okay, it's not my person. Oh, it was this person yesterday. This is what people said about him. Did you really sit down to investigate? What people are saying about the man, is it really true? We need to sit down and stop listening to what people say. People will say things to favor themselves. They will soil the other person's character because they want to take his place. That is what you see in politics. But it is for us, the populace, to sit down and look holistically, critical thinking, and see that is it true? That what they are saying about this man, is it true or not? When we are able to do that, we'll be able to go in the right direction. You see, until we are able to set our feet on the right direction as the people ourselves, what you see up there is the reflection of you and I as Nigerians. These people, that's the honest truth. For me, that's the honest truth. These people, they are products of our society. What they do there, it is what we do at the base. Ask ourselves, in our sphere of influence, who are we? What is our character like? Are we people of integrity? Do you realize that most of the business owners, their employees, are the one that has made them to close down their businesses? Where you see an employee that is richer than the employer, how did he come about that? That means he has killed that business. So that's exactly what happens. That's the same mentality we take there when we are opportune to serve the nation, or when we are opportune to serve our state as politicians. Where we had that mentality of going there to share the national cake. So we need, you see, we have to change our orientation. We have to value the other person. We have to value the needs of the general populace. Until we are able to do that. And that stomach infrastructure is another major thing.
Yes.
It's another major thing. And you see, whether we like it or not, the politicians, everybody wants to take advantage. And when they see the loopholes, they will take the advantage. But until we are able to make them to understand that we are not beggars, we are not hungry. It doesn't matter the hunger that we are faced with. We will not sacrifice our future. We will not sacrifice the future of our children. That is when they can understand the language that these people, they have come of age. They want good governance. So the bulk of the whole thing, the trust you are talking about, lies with you and I. We are the one that can work on them to the extent that we'll be able to trust them, because by then they will be doing the right thing. They will be doing according to what is expected of them. All their promises, they will hold them accountable to it. So, and they will know that, look, if I don't do it, these people will not let me live. And another aspect, the law. The law. You see, is important and is key if we really want things to happen in this nation. It does not matter the office you are occupying. The moment you are found wanting, especially with misgovernance, particularly with corruption, embezzlement, then after your tenure, you should pay for it. You should be prosecuted for it. We should not say it's the office of the president. It's sacred. It's not sacred. It's only sacred when you make it honorable. That's only when it's sacred. It's only sacred because it's the office of the president. But you, the person, you are not sacred. You are not sacred. You only have immunity for that period that you are ruling. The moment you are out of the space and you are found wanting, then you should be dealt with, because by then it is not the office of the president we are dealing with. We are dealing with your stewardship. We are dealing with the role that you played while you had the opportunity of governing well. So when we are able to do that, you would understand that the people, whoever wants to occupy the office, will always remember that, look, at the expiration of my tenure, if I do not do well, I'll be prosecuted. You saw what happened in China. One of the ministers being sentenced to death by hanging. Please, that's a minister of a government, an executive member of a government. Why? Because of corruption. So why can't we learn? You see, you want a better society. You want where things work. You want where you can trust your leaders. Some instruments have to be put in place. It is not easy. Man is the most difficult being to deal with. Is the most difficult person to align to a cause. You know why? He's got this brain to think, and he has the power of choice. So he can choose to be good or to be bad. But the only thing that can make him to be good is when you understand that there is a sanction, there's a penalty when you deviate. So the rule of law comes to play. Okay. And it is only you know a lot of them like that. Yeah. You saw a lot of activists. You saw what happened. Where even the present minister of aviation, we all knew how vocal he was way back then. You know, a lot of things happen. So most of the people, they want to be heard. They will criticize the government. We saw even some of the people that criticize the present government who are also now in that same government. You can see. So if actually you think the idea of the government is not palatable, is against your ideology, I don't think you want to come on the stream with such a government. So which implies that the reason why you were making noise in the first instance is for you to be recognized, to be seen, and so that you can be drawn into the system. That's what happens. So it is us, the people, that needs to be objective. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adeyemi. I was going to ask you some other questions, but you actually have hit the nail on the head. I was going to ask about structure and character and reforms. And I think I particularly love what you said about what will make people in government sit. You said, look, if you know that you're going to be prosecuted the moment you leave the office because you didn't do the things that you said you were going to do, you stole money, you embezzled money, you misappropriated funds, you didn't honor the office that you were in. If you're going to be prosecuted, that puts the fear of God in you to say, I know after being the president or being a governor, the next thing come be say, they go prison. No, God forbid. So everybody up. And then you also talked about, the honor and the sanctity of the office that you sit in. I like how you said, it's not really like, it's more about the office. That office gives you immunity from anything, but when you leave, there's no immunity, and that's where people are getting it wrong. So I think you read. That's the only way that we really can make reforms. But if we talk about, what do you think the reforms should be? What's the point of talking about reforms? We can talk about reforms from here till next year. But if the people who are supposed to be making sure that those reforms come to fruition, they work it through, what's remaining? Thank you so much, Adeyemi, for coming. As always, it's such a delight and a pleasure to come on the show, to have you here. Today was a great day. Thank you for coming for this roundtable meeting. But before you go, I want to quickly read the messages. I saw Sumba, but then I don't see her anymore. We have these messages. Nice morning and happy new month to you all in the studio. I am not ready to wish anybody Happy Independence Day because at 65, no positive things to show for it except looting of our commonwealth by evil men called rulers and not leaders. I don't know what your president is going to tell us today that we have not heard before. Normal lies, deceit, and propaganda as usual. My prayers this morning for the Nigerians is that may God Almighty arise and trouble those that are troubling Nigerians in the name of Jesus. Amen. This is Mayor from Ikotsu Egbe. Thank you so much, Mayor. That Arise Ladies that Arise TV lady's death doesn't look like armed robbery to me. It's pure assassination. Robbers didn't come for money. They came to take life. Oh yeah, alone. Olusoga Ajayi from Odonla Ikorodu, that's what he says. I mean, as journalists that we are, this is one that really, really caught us deep, that the passing of this young lady. I think the owner of Arise, he had gone with some members of Arise TV to, pay a condolence visit to the family. And I saw the pictures. Like, it is not the prayer of any parent to bury their child, and not even in this kind of situation. Good morning to you in studio. On Dangote and Nupeng. See, me, I've been avoiding this Dangote and Nupeng with Adeyemi this morning, but somebody has to tell. And Nupeng prices has made many people unable to buy cooking gas in Ikorodu. To be honest, I agree with this one. I've been looking for gas since Saturday. I went again yesterday. I did not find. They said they don't have that. Maybe today. My cooking gas finishes while I'm cooking a pot of beans. I will call your number.
Hey.
I will call your number. And few that are selling at 1,500 naira per kg. If care is not taken, many people will join crime, as it's looking like crime is paying in this country. Happy independence to Nigeria from additional Wasiu in Ikorodu. Finally, we have top of the morning to Nigeria at 65. We are not where we're supposed to be, and my advice for the federal government my advice to the federal government for any nation to make progress is that security, life, and property must be paramount. But it's not so in Nigeria. Many people have been kidnapped, and many others in Okio Day in the Ifelodun local government area of Kwara State. Almost 28 to 35 villages have been deserted because there are women and girls and other people have been kidnapped and some killed in the process. Please, what is the primary responsibility of government in Nigeria? Because thousands of people are killed every day in Nigeria, from additional as well in Ikorodu. We are going to be talking about security. Our next analyst is here already, but to the point of, turning to crime, please do not turn to crime. Adeyemi has rightly said that the people that are in government are a reflection of us. So if you at your grassroots level or wherever you are, you're thinking of turning to crime, I'm afraid of what you're going to do. Peradventure, you are voted into
governance.
Into government. Bros, please, we're begging you. Yes. Adeyemi, thank you so much for coming on the show. Do you have one final thing to say in 1 minute before we turn over to our analyst?
Well, thank you, Fumi, and good morning to Sumbo. I can see her on the space. Good
morning.
Well, you see, what is important is that I want us to be patient, especially when you talk about cooking gas. You see, we are going on the level of the Western world. If you look in your environment, do you see pipes that are to be laid that are being, drop off in your area? We are going to, in the course of time, you are going to see pipes being laid that will bring gas into your house, to your estate, wherever you are. Already that project is on. So let them continue to do what they are doing. Whether they're the new peng or whatever they are, you will see that a time is coming that those things, the problem we have, will be forgotten. I'm telling you, with what this present government is doing, I wouldn't know, maybe it's Lagos state government or the federal government, but I know that already that project is on in Lagos, and with time, it's going to happen. It's just going to be like the way we had water corporation way back there when Sakamori was laying the water pipes all around Lagos. So that's exactly what is presently going on in Lagos as well. And I know that by the time they are done with the project, you and I will have cause to smile. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Adeyemi, for your analysis this morning and looking at Nigeria as at 65. Thank you so much. We hope that Nigeria gets better, and we hope that at the end of the day, we get to have the full dividends of democracy. And by next year, when we're shouting Happy Independence Day, we're saying it with a lot of joy because things are better and things have changed. All right, thank you so much, Adevi, this morning and for coming on this morning on our roundtable. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, this is still your Women Radio WFM 91.7, and of course, it's about 21 minutes after 9 on this side of the radio, and this is still an extended version of the newspaper review. We're having a roundtable with our analysts this morning, and of course,
hello, good morning.
looking at issues. Hi, good morning, Mrs. Obeli. Good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning, good morning, Mr. Adeyemi. Good morning, Fumi. Good morning, Rose. Good morning, Nigeria.
Good morning, Mrs.
Hello.
Obeli. Happy Independence Day. Yes, we can hear you.
I wish I can truly say I'm happy. Oh, I don't think I am. Oh, honestly.
Mrs. Obeli,
I've seen worse days as a Nigerian in Nigeria. But yesterday's zone, God Almighty. I just prayed that God help me live for one more day. And here we are. Mr. Adeyemi just addressed the gas situation. But honestly, it was something else. For me, please check your WhatsApp. I made a video yesterday for a radio station from the gas station at Ikorodu. It is easier said than done, honestly. If you were there firsthand to witness the kind of things we witnessed yesterday, the queue was spanning long for hours. Should I shock you? I almost slept at the gas station yesterday, and I did not buy gas. My cylinder is still there. Yes. My cylinder is still there till now at the gas station. People were jumping the fence. The particular gas station I was at was one at NIPCO. Other stations were not dispensing, they were not selling, they were like hoarding their gas. It was only this particular one that was. So everybody from the nook and cranny, majority of people in Ikorodu, because in the streets they were selling for 1,700, but NIPCO was still selling for 1,000. Queue, and then you still see some of them collect money to stop the queue to please kilo day. When they told us to leave kerosene and switch to gas, we felt okay. There will be a moment of respite. And then before you know, gas shut up. Kerosene is out of the reach of the average Nigerian. All of a sudden, they said from petrol, move to CNG. Definitely, we know that when CNG is also acceptable or, used nationwide, before you know, they will still skyrocket it. Why will you tell us to move as a form of our alternative only to cumber the average man? Mr. Adeyemi, I hear you loud and clear. I've had a couple. See, because of the stress I went through, I didn't join this morning's roundtable on time. But I've been listening. I was beaten down, sacked down. I don't even know if I ate yesterday because for me to feed on. What am I saying? Where will it be who in this country? I will say we can truly breathe, and the poor can say they can thoroughly breathe. Mr. Adeyemi, not only to you, to every journalist, to every Nigerian, to every politician, to everybody listening this morning, where will the Nigeria? Because the president said we have cornered the worst. Are you really sure that we are out of the worst, or we should keep moving on and moving on and moving on? Because there's no place to move on. If at this stage you can't even assess what you used to cook for your children, what will I tell the kids? Do you know how we ate yesterday? It's crazy, honestly. Well, good morning. I don't know if I can say this is a happy Independence Day because I am not happy as a Nigerian. Good morning, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Obuli. I thought it was just we started talking about this Pengantim Dangote dramas. It happened over the weekend. So when I had gone out to buy gas on Saturday, I was like, why the normal place I will buy, they say they do not have, that's never been my experience. I've been going every day this week so that you can understand. I've gone on Monday. I've gone on Tuesday. I think my husband even said he went on Sunday, yes, after church. They didn't have. On Monday, on Tuesday, today is Wednesday. And they've been posting me. So I've been going every day since Monday. and they will tell you, oh, come on Monday, oh, come on Tuesday. That's literally what has been happening. And you know, when Adem is not here anymore, when we were talking about this, we were like, I remember asking him specifically that, is Pengasin really thinking about the lives of Nigerians? I mean, like,
Honestly,
are they thinking of the lives of Nigerians? Because, like Mr. Boli has rightly said, when I read the president's speech this morning, I was just like, I said, I'm sorry, what? Because when you say the worst is over, you can't say the worst is over when we are literally in the middle of something that can. I think there was a couple of articles I saw that said, if this goes ahead, if this strike goes ahead, it would damage Nigeria's already fragile economy. And that's what they're not thinking about. Like, you can't say the worst is over. You can't say, oh, people should bear it. People are barely bearing it. You now say, oh, we should, because really and truly, whose benefit is this strike for? It's definitely not for the Nigerians. It's not. It's for you. And I think it was Prince that had called. You know, he had said something about Dangote coming to, you know, he has come to scatter the monopoly. So everybody's trying to fight for what is theirs. And again, I'm putting the question out there that whose benefit is this strike for? Because if gas, it's not fuel that this thing started from, cooking gas. Hi Sumbo, good morning.
Good morning, Sumbo.
I saw your face when I think Ademi, or who was it, was speaking. You were just like, do you know what? Please. I think you are muted, Sumbo.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. Good morning to you, ladies. Well, we will say it as a rhetoric. Happy Independence Day. Well, I don't know. I joined the conversation, but I hear you talking about Pengasan and the cooking gas and all of that. You know, we in my house escaped the cooking gas trouble by whiskers, because I think we bought gas last week, you know, and when they told me the price, I said, 16,000. You people are just up and down, up and down. What's your problem? And, you know, the delivery guy said, they didn't get gas. So that even right now, the madam, you know, was out in search of gas. So I guess they were selling the remaining that they had. So that's how we escaped it by whiskers. I don't know what would have happened if we didn't get, because here you are in Nigeria, you don't have electricity. If you have electricity, you say, okay, I'll you know, cross over to burners and all of that. So everything about Nigeria is to squeeze you and to squeeze the life out of you. I was still having that conversation with a friend yesterday that I don't understand why, you know, there appears to be wickedness in the heart of the average Nigerian. You know, because let's be factual about this. It's no longer just about the government. It's about us as a people. It's about that thing on the inside of the average Nigerian that just takes joy, you know, from oppressing his fellow man, you know, that takes joy from just taking advantage of every situation, you know, to the detriment of the people. I don't understand the psychology behind it. You get what I'm talking about? So we've been talking about Pengasan. You know, sometimes I just turn the other eye to all of these things. So you would notice that from the moment the Dangote refinery kicked off, there has been a lot of fight against, you know, the business, against the man by the powers that be. You know, and this will tell you that these are the people who had been, you know, profiteering from the chaos and, you know, deliberately putting roadblocks so that they can continue to benefit, you know, to the pain of Nigerians. I would have thought, and not in another, you know, sphere where the people still have everything together, you would be glad to have a Dangote come into the field and to actually canvass for more of its kind to come in. But you will see that there is a rage in the midst of some people. I mean, let's not lie about it for me, Rose. We have in this country 4 refineries that over decades have been moribund. Then, no matter the amount of money that the government pumps into it, to refurbish, to restore, it goes down the drain. It's like a grave that never says enough, So, haven't you had that situation? And, let me mention that even when the refineries are not working, we have evidence that tells us that there are staff, good staff, who continue to earn salaries and even go on trainings. That's another aspect. Let me not go there. But here comes a Dangote, obviously disrupting the status quo, obviously blocking, the channels of stealing, of aggrandizement by some people. And usually these are people who have the connections, who have the power to, to hold you to ransom. That is what is going on. So the man fought the first battle. You would find out that even before he set up this refinery, his ideal place originally was Ogun State. They refused to give him license and land to let you know the thinking of the average Nigerian until Lagos State came and said, you can come. So the man has faced hurdles at every step of the way. Now the thing is finally on. He's trying to make the fuel available to Nigerians at a cost that is at least a little bit lower than what, and you are all coming out with your fangs to fight. Now, I have not followed the news because sometimes I get angry and disenfranchised, like I say. But I know that eventually now the president, I believe, met with the warring factions, and maybe there's been a kind of truce. But the question is, should that happen in the first instance? How dare a group hold an entire nation to ransom? And I think again, we should begin to revisit this issue of unionism. Because if unionism now becomes, a tool for discomforting the nation, the people, and it is now used for selfish reasons, then maybe we should begin to look at it and say, you know what, we are not doing unionism. Because I'm asking myself, what exactly is the benefit? And then the Labour Congress itself coming out to say we're going on strike. What for? What for? That's the only time you see labor. There are several labor issues that Nigerian Labour Congress should be facing. The staff are being treated crazy by their employers. To make matters worse, foreigners come into this country, Chinese, Indians, and do all kinds of rubbish. The Labour Congress does not think that is something for them, to look at. Terrible working conditions, no respect for contracts and all of that by both Nigerian employers and otherwise. The Labour Congress is not looking at that. And then when it comes to, and we all know what happens behind the scenes. Look, let's begin to say these things as it is. We know what happens. It's all about drawing attention and, profiting from the different warring factions, and then, so it's sad. I just want to plead with the government to look into it, because the people, what do you want us to use to cook? Like somebody said, well, we want to go back to the streets and start picking firewood, or go back to the cold days of coal. But adventure, for me, this is high time we spoke to Nigerians to say, you know what? Like we have multiple streams of energy, power supply. You have PHCN. You have your generator, you have your inverter, you have your solar, and you have your lamps. Those, what do you call those lamps? Energy lamps. So if one is not working, you put one. We had better take it on and say, look, let everybody go and start getting coal pots and have coal around, because it is what it is.
Amen.
It's sad. In 2025, this is where we're at.
And
65 for a crawling geriatric.
It's funny. It's just one kind when you think about it. It's just one kind. And right now I'm thinking, because my husband was saying that on Saturday he was going to get gas. And here we are. And what I have left now, I'm not sure it's even up to 3 kg or 2 kg.
Of course, again, everybody should have more than one cylinder. Okay? But you know the interesting thing? I used to have that. And one day I come into the house and one cylinder had been stolen. Okay, the guy got whoever got access into the compound, and then because the gas is outside the the building itself for safety purposes, and the gas the cylinder they took was filled with gas. So the one that was being used was done, and I went out, let me fix the other one, and I began to look for it like a needle in the park. And I mean, until the reality setting that it had been stolen.
Hey.
You understand? But what do I now do? I have the tiny one, the camp gas, that is in the house. So if there's any, you can quickly switch on to that. So we just have, Nigeria has taught us to improvise.
Yes, find alternatives.
And find alternatives so that you are not, you are not caught unawares, because that is the bane of this country. In every situation, you have to have a plan B. So that would be my appeal to Nigerians. Unfortunately, it's not a good time because people are struggling with the little money that they have.
Yes,
so people don't really have enough to go and tie down again. But I don't know, but it's like this country, is gently sapping the blood and the water out of our bones until they dry you up and you crack. It's one day, one trouble. You are struggling with one another, one comes. You told me I'll be on for security and education. I was just reading how NYSC is now coming out to say that, core members have to submit their thesis. I said, I don't, is NYSC an educational institution? What's their business? And pray me, when they collect all of these theses, what are they going to be doing with it? What's the essence? The schools that collect the projects themselves, what have they done with it? It's all stacked up somewhere. It's of no use. It's not contributing anything to the society. It's not contributing anything to our knowledge bank. So why do you just want to, you just want to make us go through suffering and hell? That is not necessary. I don't know the thinking. I don't know where that is coming from.
It's just a lot. It's just when I read about the thesis thing, I'm like, even the university is gone when they call it. Later is woman that is selling akara. You see her wrapping akara.
Yes, now.
So you guys, even if you collect soft copy, what are you going to do with it? Go.
Yeah. I mean, so these are issues that you just begin to ask yourself, is that what is next? In the midst of all the, the myriad of challenges facing this nation, facing the education system, when people are even calling for the scrapping of the NYSC itself, that it has overrun its usefulness, they are now coming to say they should come and submit thesis. What kind of madness is that? What
is insecurity happening as well?
Yes. I don't know. I don't understand what is wrong with us. Yesterday, interestingly, as I was discussing with a friend over the death of Somi, the Arise News, and I said, I didn't know when I said, I said, is it my kind of person that should have been born in this country?
Hey.
I was just telling him, I said, these people will make you say things that are, that are not worthy in the ears of God. Because what? 65 years, we're still here with all the potentials, with all the blessings with which we have been blessed in this country. Every mineral resource, every state has something that can sustain it. The human capital in this country is huge. What is going on? And then you have just a crop of people, excuse me, holding us by the jugular and holding us to ransom. Imagine how painful the death of that child, that young woman is. I was still crying my eyes out and praying. It was something personal for me. The young girl who went, called to bar and was kidnapped. And I saw the father making an appeal. I said, looking at the background of this video, you will see that this family is not, is not up there. This is probably a family that struggled through everything to see their child go to school. And then I could imagine the joy, the excitement in her heart as she made her way back home to go and celebrate, waiting for that glorious welcome. And she's kidnapped. I kept on praying, God, just have mercy. Just have mercy on these children. You understand? So when I read the news this morning, is it this morning I read the news?
Yesterday.
Or yesterday, that it was like my child. I quickly forwarded it to my friend with whom I've been discussing that, because there's a young girl in my church that knows the girl very well. So he was saying, thank you for sending it to me. I don't think this girl knows already. Let me quickly send it to her. And then in the midst of that, a young girl is killed for nothing. Look at the potential. Look at the vision of that girl. Look at the impact at such a tender age. I'm hearing that this was 2 months to a wedding. What kind of nation is this? What kind, as I was praying, I said, God, I don't have the words to even, what words do you have to comfort such parents? So many unnecessary deaths. Yes,
in Kwara State.
In Kwara State. That one is there. I listened to the residents speaking and talking about how, the police wasn't coming. And then I'm hearing again that the police said, well, they couldn't come because they had inferior,
weapons. Higher.
Oh.
And I think that's where the issue is, where the president, who's supposed to encourage, I think one of the friends of Stormy had said that he was like, I can tell you for free that the president is going to come tomorrow with a tone deaf message. And I was like, have faith now. And then I read, and then I read the article and I was like, and I know that, as broadcasters, we're supposed to, help, but when there's so much heaviness in the air when you look on the streets of Lagos or wherever you are in Nigeria, so much despondency, so much frustration. It's heavy, it's thick. And if you're a person who tries to be optimistic, you won't even know when the thing starts getting to you.
Definitely.
Like because it's something you're consuming. When you walk on the streets, you see things, so the only time you don't see is when you're in your house, but you can't be in your house 24/7. It's almost like, let me be in my house so it insulates me from all these things. But then we see this news time and time again. Sometimes you think, maybe the if a local government is far from me. There's this thing with elites or middle class and upper class people where they just feel like, it's lower class people. It's far from me. But then you see something like this young girl's death, who by all counts can be called a middle class or an elite, And you're just like, Nigeria can happen to you at any time, regardless of who you are.
Of course.
It's a wake-up call, for us. Please go ahead, Sumbo.
The truth of the matter is, Nigeria has been in mourning for years now. I recall I was on radio some time ago. It's been a while now, and I can't remember the tragedy that struck us as a nation, and people were complaining about the fact that the Nigerian flag ought to have been flying at half-mast. I said, if we are going to consider that, the Nigerian flag should be down perpetually. Because, do you know how many people die daily from terrorists, from bandits, unnecessary deaths? Not in fives, not in tens, in their quantum. So if we are going to consider that, the flag should be flying at half-mast permanently. Because it's a tragedy every day. Okay? When the nation, and we have become a morbid people. When I say morbid, we have gone past feeling.
Yes.
Okay? We have gone past feeling. Now, let me say something to you. One man, just one young man, was killed in the US. Charlie Kirk. Look at the ripple effect. Look at the response from the American nation itself before it began to attract other nations of the world. How many people die daily in Nigeria? Not even a recognition. It's like, as they say, another one bites the dust. That's how morbid we have become. It doesn't mean anything anymore. 100 people killed. It doesn't cut you to the bones.
Yes.
And that tells you that something has gone wrong with our psychology, with our psyche. We've been tampered with. There are parts of us that are no longer responsive to any stimuli. Yes. That is the tragedy of the nation that we're in. And talking about security, our priorities are just wrong. Because let me say something again to us this morning. It doesn't matter how much wealth I have. It doesn't matter how much valuables I have. If I put them in a house that has no doors, that has no windows, that has no form of security whatsoever, everything inside that house is up for the grabs by anyone. That is what we have not realized as a nation. That it doesn't matter what we think we have, as long as our nation is not secured, you understand, we are open to attacks from anywhere and everywhere. And that brings me to this. No amount of money should be too much to spend to ensure that we secure the land. Now, when I say no amount of money is too much, I'm not saying money that you will release for people to steal and put in their own personal coffers. I'm talking about money that you would truly spend, to do the needful. So rather than us saying we want to do Lagos Coastal Road, at a time like this, that kind of money shouldn't be pumped into security. Shouldn't we traverse land and sea to ensure that this thing is nipped in, is taken care of, because we're open and the government does not appear to care. But like you said, for me, it's only a matter of time. And the doomsday is drawing closer, because up to a point, these people think that they are safe in their cocoons. Oh, they're not. Oh, they're not. They're not. Your child will go somewhere, you will go somewhere. The chicken one day is going to come home to roost. In a way that you don't expect, these things will begin to happen and hit you too. Now, just one thing, one tool in the hands of God, COVID-19. You saw we felt like a pack of cards.
Yeah.
To the point that people said to me, it is the sickness of the rich. Do you understand? Look at the number of endowed Nigerians who fell to COVID. Why? Because they couldn't go anywhere. Their security in which they trusted was suddenly taken away from them. Okay? And then they went to hospitals that will say, before we even do anything, put down 10 million. And they were dying by their numbers. I got COVID, but I came out. I was in the Yaba Isolation Center. I came out. Do you understand? And well, because of the faith that I carried, within 24 hours or less of getting there, they had carried 5 corpses in front of me. I said, what kind of nonsense is this? I'm not going to allow this. I'm here. I have what it takes to stop it. So I put on my Christian faith cap and got the entire world to begin to pray. By the time I left, we had less than 50%, the number. And from the day I began that prayer and said, God, I put a stop to death, they did not record one more death. You understand? So their own security is in the things they think they are put together. Mine is in God. That this is not supposed to be a religious kind of thing, but we're talking the realities of life this morning. Okay, so don't think that because you have status, you are who you are this, you have one title or the other, it will come to you if you don't take care of it.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Sumbo. Because we are at the point of wrapping up now. We couldn't even go deep into the security and education issues.
But we did touch it a little
Yeah, they're
bit.
all intertwined at the end of the
Yeah.
day. I remember a video I saw a few days back where Nigeria is funny, where a bandit came out, had a session, a peace session with the community. And in my mind, I'm like, how did like the effrontery for me, for you to actually come out and say you want
And
to
to
have
be making demands that if you continue to trouble us, we will trouble you back. Where does that happen? Where does that happen? Who does that? The country has been sold to those people. The government cannot tell me that they are not complicit. Whether state or whether at the federal level, local government or whatever, because who does that?
Like, it just got to me in some way. I'm like, no, what rubbish.
And these are people who have no pedigree, no education, nothing. Miscreants. Princes walking on ground and servants riding on horses. That's the situation.
At the end of the
have.
day, if the community does not do so, then the community itself is at a loss, because they are just going to continue killing their community. So they don't even have a choice.
No, they don't. Everybody pays ransom.
Exactly.
Everybody pays ransom.
It's just unfortunate, honestly. But we hope that things will get better, honestly. So, our time is fast spent. Maybe a minute or two to give your final words on, your whole thoughts on the independence and where we should be heading to as a nation.
Well, I'm glad that they didn't go ahead to do any stupid parade. I mean, yes.
I'm watching out for that parade,
yeah, because that's not what we should be thinking of now. You understand? They said the priest is burning, you are asking for the beard. You understand? So let them stop that rubbish. Let Nigeria be sincere enough in their hearts to wish this nation well and to do what is needful for us to get to a point where we say, the Federal Republic of the New Nigeria. And it is my prayer that Nigeria will win at the end of the day. And so let all hands be on deck. Let Nigerian leaders begin to draw from the milk of kindness and say that it's better to write their names in gold as a legacy rather than aggrandizing wealth and monument building that will go away in a couple of years. So I wish us well. Happy independence once again, Nigeria. May we see the Federal Republic of the New Nigeria, and may Nigeria win. Good morning.
It just looks like, anyway, happy independence, Sha.
We'll
see you tomorrow again.
All right.
That's been a good one. It has been thank you so much, Sumbo, for taking out this much time to be with us this morning on our Independence Roundtable. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
Mm-hmm. Yes, do what enjoy the holiday. At least you have gas. Enjoy it.
I like that. And for those of you who don't have, maybe you might consider fasting for Nigeria. All right. Have a good day.
We have come to the end of this roundtable. It has been a good run. Having Buki, Adeyemi Adeolu, and Sumbo join us this morning at different times. It's been a good conversation. I just hope that Nigeria gets better, because all of these issues that we're discussing, we're discussing it with pains in our hearts, because we wish to see, if a 65-year-old person should, we all expect that he or she should have achieved a lot of things to a certain level. So at 65, Nigeria, we should be somewhere that all of us should beat our chest and say, yes, we are where we ought to be. But hey, there's still room. Life can begin at 65 for anybody. I mean, things can turn around. So yeah, we have hope, we have faith that Nigeria will definitely be better. Abi for me.
Nigeria will survive.
All right, so that's it from us right here. Thank you so much all for tuning in, listening, for calling, and of course for being a part of the program. Tomorrow is our VOW, Voice of Women Conference and Awards happening in Abuja. If you're not in Abuja, please follow us live on radio. We're going to kick off at 9 a.m. We're going to start with, all of the conversations that is going to be going on in Abuja. So please stay with us on Women Radio. And wish us well, root for us, because it's not funny to be hosting the 9th edition of the VOW conference and award that is happening in Abuja. So yeah, from all of us right here, we urge you all to have a great holiday. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser.
My name is Fumi Bangala.
All right, a very big thank you to Timmy and Michael and to all those who actually stayed in the studio to make sure that this is a success this morning. We say a very big thank you to all. So you all have a great day and stay with us. Good morning. Bye.
Bye.
1.7 Breaking the culture of silence.